अस्सलाम वालेकुम व्यूअर्स, आप देख रहे हैं वॉइस ऑफ टोरंटो टेलीविज़न की लाइव ब्रॉडकास्ट। मैं हूं आपका होस्ट अंजुम मलिक और आज हम प्रोग्राम कर रहे हैं ख़ास तौर पे ऑन अ वेडनेसडे विद यू। जनरली यू सी मी ऑन अ फ्राइडे नाइट्स. It's a special program we are doing, but before we even get to the guest, and we will talk to him in detail. If you are watching us tonight and if you have a question, you give us a call at 905-670-4114. This is our studio line. We can take a live call and get your sentiments. You can watch us on all IP channels. You're watching us on Facebook, YouTube Live as well. For any feedback during the after the transmission, if you'd like to comment on anything during the show or about the show and you want to get back to us, we have an email address which is voiceoftorontotv@gmail.com. You can write to us and express your sentiments regarding the program or what would you like to see during the shows as well. We are trying to actually bring in a lot of politicians the last several weeks, and we are speaking to them on different aspects of where they live, what they do, and where they come from. At the same time, it's also important that we, as a constituent who live in that area or the ridings, when we elect a member of parliament, an MPP or a councillor or a mayor, then हमारी जो होप्स होती हैं वो भी बड़ी हाई होती हैं. एंड वी ऑलवेज थिंक कि जी हमारे एरियाज़ में ये काम नहीं हो रहे, यहाँ ये इश्यूज़ हैं, हमारे यहाँ कार जैकिंग का प्रॉब्लम है, लाइट्स के इशू हैं, हमारे यहाँ वाटर का इशू है, the rates are hiked for the hydro or for the water or for the gas. So you always have these kind of notions in your mind, and you always think that who's the best person to get in touch with. So the best person to get in touch with for all those reasons would be your councillor from the ward where you live. He is the first person, just like a first responder. They are the people that they can get in touch with you, or you get in touch with them and lodge your complaints, lodge your issues with them, for them to take it to the city, to their council, where they are, whether they are provincial, federal, municipal. This is how the government works. And our way of doing the program would be is to create that awareness that when there is a problem and you're encountering that problem, then how you go about it. For example, in my area where I live, there have been 3 cars got stolen within the past 3 weeks. And people get in touch with me, they said, because people know me, that who I am, so I could be their voice on television. And I said to them, I will bring on the mayor on the chair and I'll ask them the question, what are they doing? How are they going to fix these problems? So similarly, when there are the issues, municipality issues, we should always reach out to our councillors. And one of the councillors with us is a good friend, Collin. He is Ward 1 in Milton. We had the opportunity and the privilege to speak with the mayor of Milton a couple of times. And today I thought it'd be a great idea to have one of the councillors from the Ward 1. And he's with us in the studios, and we welcome him to Voice of Toronto TV, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your...
How are you tonight?
Fine, thanks, and thank you for your invitation. I'm looking forward to talking with you.
Thank you so much. And you've been serving the city of Milton for a long time as a regional councillor. Let's start with a couple of things. I mean, you guys came back again after the last elections. How overwhelming was this election versus the previous one that you have ran?
Well, actually, this one was unique because it's the first time I've ever been acclaimed, which meant nobody ran against me, which either, as my wife says, either you're doing a great job or nobody else wants it. And it was in 12...
So you had no incumbent?
No, I was the incumbent, but nobody ran against me. So
nobody ran against you?
For the first time in 12
So you were
elections.
the winner from the day one anyway?
Yeah, 100% of the vote. But it also puts it in perspective that I've got 20,000 voters in my ward.
Wow.
And I'm elected to serve them. And as you mentioned there, I work with federal, provincial, regional, and municipal levels. Yeah. And if I can't help you on my level, I can certainly refer you to whoever's jurisdiction.
Yeah, a lot of people, in our part of the world, but when I say our part of the world, people from Pakistan, from India, from South Asia, they always feel they need to reach out to their member of parliament where they live. And I tell them, no, they are federal. You live in a constituent where you have municipality issues. you need to reach out to your counselor. That's the guy you voted for. So really, are they the? I think we have a caller. Hello. What? Hello.
Hello, Mr. Anjum, how are you? This is Azhar Khan.
Hi, Mr. Azhar Khan. Thank you for calling Voice of Toronto TV. We have Collin Best with us from Ward 1. How are you tonight, sir?
I'm great. And can I have a question from your guest, please?
100%. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So I would like to know that, if one of our youth who wanna come to politics, what you advise them, what are the things they have to initially start before come to the politics to make their ground? Many youth are showing their interest, but what are the basic things they have to start this journey?
So stay on the line. So the question is that if a youth wishes to start a journey to become into politics or join politics, being in a politics, or want to become a politician in his life down the line, what are the protocols that one has to follow? Where does he or she starts, his journey to become a politician?
Well, first of all, thank you for the question. It's an excellent one. I started when I was 23. I was one of the youngest councillors. Actually, Councillor Kalki actually beat my record at 22. But I suggest that if you have any young people, get involved in the community first. Neighborhood associations, various service clubs, and things. And also, if they're really interested, shadow a councillor or the mayor, and also an MP or MPP, because they love the attention. Because that's one thing that I'm also the president of the Association of Municipalities of Ontario. One of our projects we're working on is what's called Healthy Democracy, because in the last election across Ontario, only 38% of people voted. And we're finding it at all levels, that, as you found yourself, that people don't know who's in charge of what level of government's doing things, and that's what we're hoping to educate. But also in terms of education, I'd encourage them to take civics courses, which is offered in grade 10, which is mandatory, but also political science, public administration, and finding out about the community. I
think that's a very, very good point. So Mr. Collin saying that the first thing they need to do if they are in college or university or schooling, they need to have these two subjects into their education. That is very important. And if you have that also, it's like a head start for you. And then also you need to get involved into community affairs. Do you have any specific question other than that question, Mr. Khan? I think he left.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think the question, what he was trying to ask in regards to the youth, probably he worked with the youth. I think. Welcome to Voice of Toronto TV. Hello.
Yes. Sorry, this is Azhar Khan again.
Yes.
Sorry, the line was.
No problem.
Yeah, the specific question: if somebody, participate in the municipal election and he lost the election with few votes or something, what he do to continue and how he motivate himself, because every election after 4 years.
Okay, so are you going to stay with us on the line, or are you going to listen?
No, I leave now and I can watch you on TV.
Thank you very much. Thank you,
sir.
So his question is, I think, pretty simple. That if somebody ran for an election, as either the councillor or member of parliament or provincial assembly, whatever, and if you have lost, or you have lost with a little bit of narrow voting, what he or she could do to should he or she go back and rerun again? What kind of homework he or she have to do? What would be your tip on that?
I would encourage him to keep trying, because I lost twice. I made the mistake a while ago of running against the mayor, which my wife said never do that again. And what I did is just go to public meetings, be the voice of your community. See an issue and lead with it. Write letters to the editor of the papers. Show up to council meetings. If you can't attend a council meeting, watch them. Find out what's going on, and also be involved in your community. Basically, as my parents always taught me, you only get out of your life what you put into it. If you don't put anything into your community, don't expect anything back.
Correct. I hope this would answer the question that the caller have. let's talk a little bit about Ward 1, Milton.
Yeah.
What are the challenges in that ward right now that you feel that they've been there before and you were not able to fix them back then, and you can fix them now? What are those?
Well, you have some of the greatest joy I have of fixing the small problems. The large problems sometimes last for years and even decades. My ward runs from Derry Road up to Highway 7 in Rockwood,
Okay.
from Millborough Line to Ontario Street.
Okay.
It is the largest ward in Milton. Actually, it's half the size of Mississauga.
Right.
And one of the things that we have is anything from a very rural issue like a quarry application to a very urban issue such as traffic and basically the growth of the community. So you have a mix, and that's one of the great things about being a councillor. You're a generalist, unlike federal or provincial politics where you basically stick to a ministry or one or two issues. Here you've got everything. I've dealt with people calling me anything about dog catching right up to a major flooding incident.
In your Ward 1, Milton is growing and South Asian community is becoming, actually moving up to Milton.
Definitely.
Last time I was talking to the mayor himself, and he was saying, we're welcoming. It was a town of Milton. Now we're going to be a city of Milton soon.
Yeah.
I mean, the population has grown from 40,000 people to about 140,000 people in the last several years. So it is growing. You have the universities coming up there right now. There are a lot of other I would say corporate guys are coming up there in Milton as well. But what I'm trying to ask you, one of the questions is in regards to our community who live in your riding. What do you feel that our community is a challenge with right now in your ward?
Well, like anything, it's the cost of living, I find, is the main thing that people are concerned about, as well as finding employment that's close to home, that you don't have to go into Mississauga and Toronto because of all the congestion and things. And also just, and I have neighbors on my street that we came, basically said we came to Canada to have the opportunity for our children to grow up in a safe country and have their future. And that's one thing that I'm trying to help them with not only Laurier University, but also Conestoga College, which is offering courses this fall. And that's something that the town is very involved with, both of them, and the Milton Education Village, as well as a number of corporate sector.
How is your chemistry now with the new election that happened, and you have 3 people from our community, 2 regional councillors and a councillor, Samira Ali, you have Sami Ijaz, and you have Adil Khalki. How's the chemistry working with these guys?
Oh, excellent. Beside Councillor Khalki, Councillor Ali was elected the past election as a local councillor. She moved up to regional level, which I work with her at the regional council as well. And we're also involved in the Federation of Canadian Municipalities. So she was recently elected to one of our committees. So I'm looking forward to working with her. But that's one of the things that, as similar to Mississauga and Brampton, we are a very diversified community. When I was born in the community, it was only 4,500 people, and we're now over 145,000. By the year 2051, we're projecting 350,000 people, or almost half the size of Brampton.
Okay. I recently had an opportunity to chat with the Minister of Red Tape Productions, Param Gill, from Milton, the MPP with the Ford government. And one of the questions I asked him in my interview a couple of days ago was about housing. So is the city of Milton is working with the developers to develop more projects in Milton so the housing issues could be subsided?
Oh yeah, definitely, and that's one thing that municipalities are waiting for builders to file their permits, because right now Milton has over 13,000 homes in production. Unfortunately, there's a lot of challenges, as
That's what the red tape production minister was saying. And I asked him specifically what obstacles you are facing with that.
Well, the thing is, they're already approved. It's basically that they're facing. I talk to builders every week. A lot of it is just the cost of borrowing, and even try and find the capital, because some of these projects are like $100 million or more. The cost of construction, which has escalated dramatically the last few years, and also the cost of labor and the shortage of labor to try and find the skilled tradespeople. And I have projects right on my own street where the the owners are just tearing their hair out because they don't, they're expecting 6 people on site. They're lucky if they get 2 or 3. So it is multiple challenges, and that's what we're looking forward to working with the province, because we have our challenges just like the province does. But again, it's where we want to work together, opening the doors to opportunity and development, and we could do a lot of it within current infrastructure.
So what do you think from the time you got elected and the next 4 years, how many more units could be built in Milton?
Well, the province has given us a pledge of 21,000 new homes over the next 10, which works out to 2,100 homes per year. Unfortunately, with the downturn in building and builders, we just had also serve on Milton Hydro, we only had 152 new homes over the last 3 months, which equates to less than 1,000 homes a year. So we can't even make half of what the province is projecting, a lot of it due to the reasons I just mentioned. So there's a lot of challenges out there. We look to work together on trying, because a lot of it is affordable and attainable housing, which a lot of it could be done in government land. I've told.
So you think that the Ford government have not gone into a proper evolving process when they have announced that 1.5 million homes during their election campaign?
Yeah, they have their goals, but a question is like your own budget. You've got what you want and what you can afford to do, because you have many players. You have the builders, you have the municipalities, you have the province, and also you have the federal government. And that's one thing we're hoping to get the federal government on side, saying, okay, we need as the CMHC, Canada Mortgage and Housing Corporation, to get involved, because for a lot of the homes in Brampton, Mississauga, and Milton, a detached home is over $1 million. Most young couples can't afford that, so we have to find other solutions. And that's one thing we've been encouraging both federal and provincial governments to work together. And also we have a significant homeless problem throughout the GTA now.
I was speaking with Mayor Patrick Brown not too long ago, where you're sitting right now, and one of the things that I asked him during that interview was regarding Mayor Bonnie Crombie's announcement of Peel Region division. Is that going to change anything for the Halton region, or no?
No.
If they get separate their ways back in
that's appeal, because both Brampton and Mississauga are over 700,000-800,000 people, which is almost as large as the Ottawa, which is a single tier community. So they have their own issues. Halton has worked well together for the last 50 years. The mayor and myself and various other councillors have met, as well regional chair, and we only have some minor issues together. And there's been no great groundswell saying we have to change the system. If it's working well, why change it? And that's one thing we're looking forward to, meeting with the facilitator when they're named, to go over some of these issues, because we have some concerns, especially with regional transit, because right now a lot of people commute back and forth, and the town had to go out and actually cooperate with the city of Mississauga and town of Halton Hills to run a bus line along Steeles Avenue to connect, and it's working quite well. We need to do this on a regional level.
Okay. And how's it working out for your ward in regards to overnight parking issues and the carjackings and in general, the policing in your area and all that? I mean, Brampton has been pretty bad where I live, and it has been a challenge, for years here. Obviously, it's growing fast. A lot of people have been immigrating there, but at the same time, we have a lot of challenges. What about in your ward?
Well, it's the same. I've actually had people on my street had their vehicles stolen, and the police have been very good at catching some of these rings. And it is organized crime doing this. It's not just someone doing it random.
Not randomly. Yes.
This is someone going out and I say, I want this type of vehicle, and they've already got, the top 5 are quite. And we've had police. Actually, Councillor Kalki and myself were involved with a meeting with the police a few months ago, and they highlighted that you have to take precautions. It's just like protecting your house. You have fire alarms, you have smoke detectors. The same with your car. If you can, store it inside. Unfortunately, a lot of families are doubling up, or you have young children where you have 2 or 3 cars and they can't put them in the garage. So we have to work on communicating to the public and saying, it's your vehicle is one of the most expensive assets you have. Make 100%. Sure it's secure.
100%. So what is one of the messages that you have for our viewers Our viewers are mostly Pakistan, India, and some Arab and South Asian communities. What would you like to say to Miltonians tonight who are watching you on our channel? I'm sure that you Jesus guys came in. It's a new beginning again. But what are some of those projects you think that you were not able to fulfill in your last assignment that now you are back again? And you are anticipating to complete them in the next 4 years? Well,
what we're hoping to do is basically making Milton a balanced community where it's well-rounded. Unfortunately, due to COVID, a lot of things got slowed down, so our big project is Milton Education Village. We hope to have that underway, as well as a long-term care center by Schlegel Homes. And basically making it, and as I mentioned to people, Milton's my hometown. I want to make it yours. And make sure your family can feel, you feel welcome in the community, you can thrive in the community, you can work here, you can play, and you can retire. We have a lot of recreational facilities in the community, not only by the town, but also conservation authorities. We're close to Toronto, but we don't have the challenges that Toronto's facing right now. But we hope to basically make it even more welcoming in the future.
So you've been serving for, like you just said, 16, 17 years. What does your legacy look like when you leave? Would you like to go run for a mayorship for the Milton? Or
that's all depends. I work very closely with the mayor, and we agree on most issues. Some we occasionally have a disagreement, but I'm looking forward to to keeping the town a balanced community, to making sure it's thriving, that we have a good financial base to the community, as well as having the facilities and services that people want and they can afford.
And how do you perceive the fact that you have now 3 councillors in your caucus? They are South Asian. And what do you foresee that the way the community is growing? Are they going to be adding more seats into the council down the line?
Yeah, that's when we did our last review in 2018. We actually reduced it from 11 to 9 councillors, but we're looking at a new community along Trafalgar Road, which is going to add anywhere from 50 to 100,000 people. So we're going to need more councillors, and we welcome anyone of any background and any age. And I'm quite encouraged to see the diversity. As president of AMO, one thing that really surprised me is 42% of councillors in this term across Ontario are new. They've never run before, including mayors, regional chairs, and so it shows that there is an interest there from people throughout the world to run, and I'm looking forward to more diversity on council.
So for a lot of people who also, one of the questions they have in mind that I have a job and can I become a councillor?
Sure.
So this is a part-time job as a councillor. You can still continue to have your day-to-day job what you have, but you can run for a councillor seat and become a councillor for the city of town of Milton.
Oh, definitely. Actually, the majority of my life I worked full-time. I was a property appraiser for 30 years and had a full-time job as well as part-time. Most local council and regional, it's anywhere from 10 to 20 hours a week, possibly more, but it's like any job. You can put more or less into it. But across Ontario, majority of councillors and even mayors are part-time. It's only in the big cities you have full-time councillors and mayor.
It's not like a roll call. You have to be 7 a.m. in the morning. You have to come in. You have to leave at this time. It's not like that.
No, it's basically you're on call 24/7. I've had phone calls from anywhere from 4 to 6 in the morning to 2:30 at night. And it's basically being aware what's your community's needs, and in an emergency being ready to help lead the community, because it's not only political leadership, it's leadership by example. And if you're out there in the community, people will see that. And if you're not in the community and helping your community, you're not going to be around too much longer.
Do you guys work with disaster management authorities as well in case of unforeseen situations happens?
Well, we've had some of them, such as a gas main blow up, as tornadoes, hurricanes, and we just had a street festival last year, which basically we had to basically shut everything down and get people out safely and quickly. So it's quite involved, and we take training. We have through AMO, as well as the federal government offers training, because as councillors and the mayor, because we all take turns as being acting mayor, we could be called upon to make a decision, just like Mayor McCallion did when we had the train disaster.
Good to know. A lot of basic information that people would like to know. And I think people who are watching us tonight, like Collin Best said, that get involved in the community, do some volunteer work. If you want to head start your life, become a political entity, a politician, a mayor, a councillor. You want to run for it. It's not a full-time job, but you are full-time engaged. It's not a job, but you are engaged full-time.
Yeah,
You're always.
And that's just one aspect of it. One thing that we also have is a lot of committee appointments. Not everybody's cut out to be an elected position. We have such things as the library board, police commission. We have such things as a committee of adjustment, hydro boards. We have a lot of non-elected positions that are appointed, and those people are just as effective and just as influential in the community. I know some community leaders that have never been elected, but they've contributed far more than some councillors have over time. As well as we have a lot of openings and staff. If you have any of your viewers that are looking at a career in municipal administration, just like federal and provincial, we have all sorts of careers. There's about 60 to 70 functions that any municipality does on a daily basis, and we're looking. Because
so if people are applying for a job in City of Milton, where would they go and put their resumes?
Well, so our town website, milton.ca, it's right in the top right corner under employment. Right now, any time of the day, we're probably looking at hiring about a dozen people, and it's the same turnout because my age group is retiring. We have a lot of people we need skilled people in all sort of functions. Same with the region of Halton, halton.ca, and the province and Canada. We are looking for people of all skill levels and interest because it's changing. That's one of the positions.
Good thoughts. Viewers, जैसे कि रीजनल काउंसलर कॉलिन बेस्ट बता रहे हैं कि अगर आपको सिटी ऑफ मिल्टन में आप रहते हैं और आप सिटी ऑफ मिल्टन में जॉब करना चाहते हैं तो milton.ca पे जाइए. सिटी ऑफ हॉल्टन में halton.ca पे जाके there are a lot of jobs available. You can apply for those jobs and see whatever suits your profession and your background and experiences, but there are jobs available there. Thank you, Collin. Thank you for coming into Voice of Toronto TV studios. I really appreciate your time, sharing a little bit of your stuff with us. We'll get you back again, next few weeks or so when there's a lot more going on, and we can discuss some hot topics at that time. But before you go, this is your camera for a message.
Okay, well, thank you for watching Toronto TV. Thank you for having me on.
No worries.
And, if you have any questions, just come to my website, collin.ca, and we can talk about things, or just send me an email at collin.best@milton.ca, because I'm looking forward to growing the community and having everyone involved.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Viewers, I'm going to come back to you again, inshallah, with another guest. And feedback ज़रूर दीजिए प्रोग्राम के हवाले से. voiceofTorontoTV@gmail.com हमारा ईमेल एड्रेस है. सोशल मीडिया हैंडल है हमारा @voiceofTorontoTV, और हमारी ट्रांसमिशंस चल रही हैं. हमारे और प्रोग्राम्स भी आ रहे हैं आज, आप उनको भी देखिए. दिल की बातें, you will see that. उसके बाद we have one of the hosts who's going to do Let's Talk Business. That's a new show we have. A lot of small businesses are reaching out to us and they want to come and talk about their businesses. This is a great platform, Let's Talk Business. Give us a call after the show, 905-670-4114, or you can reach out to me at 905-965-4786, or send us an email at voiceofTorontoTV@gmail.com. Till next time, bye-bye. Thank you.